Hello, and welcome to Improvisations on Growth with Madhu Einsiedler. My name is Adina Arhire, and I am the hostess of this podcast, which carries a special theme in the light of the recent developments regarding COVID-19. We find ourselves in an unprecedented crisis situation, and you might have noticed family members, co-workers, and even yourself reacting in certain ways. Have you stopped to ask yourself why? What is prompting the fear or the desire to control or maybe the indifference? I invite you to listen and learn more about your own self and ask this very important question with us. What can I do during a crisis? Hello, Madhu. How are you today?
Oh, hi, Adina. I am. I don't know how I am. It's interesting times. How are you? How are things over there?
Pretty much in the same boat as far as not knowing how I am. So it's March the 14th. And as you know, I'm in South Florida and west of Fort Lauderdale. And everything is about the coronavirus and the crisis here. How are things with you?
Yeah, it's the same here. So I'm in. I think the listeners know, but still, I'm located in Austria, in Vienna, in an outer district, so not in the center. Monday, basically, all shops are closed. My business is closed, so that's a government order. Besides supermarkets and pharmacies and everything, and banks and the post office, they're allowed to keep open, but everything else is closed. And I'm not supposed to visit my parents because they're over 65. So everybody over 65 is supposed to isolate themselves because they're the vulnerable group. And although I'm a coach, I know it's important to self-calm, and yet it is a challenge because the general atmosphere is, well, there's just a lot of uncertainty over here, and our government is doing a really good job in communicating, and I think they could not do anything better, how they communicate everything, and we have really good information, but yet this situation is so unusual. Even my parents, being in their mid-80s, have not experienced something similar before. And so it's a lot of uncertainty, and I can feel how it affects me. So how is it in the States, in Florida?
I haven't seen necessarily people panicking, but I've noticed the various behaviors. They announced that the schools are going to be closed for next week, and then the following week is spring break. So for 2 weeks, the schools are going to be out, which I think it's a good decision. It's a sane decision. Like I said, I haven't seen people panicking, but I did notice various behaviors, and this is what prompted my desire to talk to you about this, because I was thinking we can maybe chat about what can I do in times of crisis. I know you were speaking about the government and the measures that the government has been taking, and I think here they've done a great job too. But then I was wondering, how about what each of us can do when we start feeling helpless, when we start feeling like we have no control, no power? Is there really anything that I can do in times of a crisis? And this is where I was thinking, I'm not an expert at this, but Madhu is. And for example, yesterday I went shopping, and people were hoarding on paper towels, not necessarily toilet paper, paper towels. And then I was watching TV, and someone was acting like the virus didn't exist, drinking and partying and different behaviors, like dismissing everything that's happening. So what do you think about this? How come some people are taking this so seriously and have this fear, and some people are taking it so lightly and they're trying to act like it's nothing, it will go away, it doesn't exist?
In regards to what we can do in times of crisis, The first thing is to realize that we have an automatic response to the feeling of insecurity, to the feeling of loss of control, feeling of helplessness, powerlessness, anxiety. So whenever the environment triggers that, our system has an automatic reaction, and it's three, or the newest version, it's four ways that our system automatically reacts, and that goes back to, I don't know, when we were still living in caves. And the one and through our socialization, we learn which of those different automatic reactions are our preferred ones. So each of us has a preferred automatic reaction. And the one is the fighting, that this automatic response also switches on when we feel that we're losing control, when we feel powerless, when we are basically in fear. So our system doesn't know that there isn't a Thesaurus Rex out there that we need to run from. So, but what our system registers is there's a high level of anxiety and fear, and then it switches on the same response. And through our socializations, there's like a preferred one that was more helpful in our environment. That was more accepted in our environment.
The way I'm filtering it is that if I go to the store and I buy tons of flour, that is really going to make me feel better and in control again. So if I open my pantry and I see 20 pounds of flour, somehow that makes me feel like I've regained the control.
That's exactly what it is.
But even though that's totally false?
It's totally irrational. And which leads me back to the four automatic responses that we have, reactions that we have. So the one is fighting. A friend of mine, we were on the phone, and she told me that she was in the supermarket buying groceries, obviously, and queuing up at the cashier. She witnessed a scene where there was like this one woman having one pack of eggs, and in front of her was this guy, and in his shopping cart he had like 20 bags of eggs. And then what he did is he turned around and grabbed the one pack of egg from the woman and put it in his shopping cart. So,
no.
Like you mentioned, yeah. So you mentioned the flour, and he was like, I don't know, stocking up on eggs. I have no idea, but it's like the aggression. It's me against others. Since we cannot really run away from the virus, what a lot of people are doing is they're distracting ourselves. Like the people you were telling me about who were partying, they're not taking this serious. They think, well, it won't affect me, and this is all nonsense, and it's all lies, and so they're running away, but more in a mental meaning of flight. And then the third one is freeze. So we paralyze. We are not able to act at all. The typical example of the rabbit in front of the snake. So as long as I'm freezing and I'm not moving, not even breathing, then the danger will pass. In this crisis reaction, the automatic reaction, we're still able to react in some sort of way. So it's like we still think we can either fight it, or we can run away fast enough, or we freeze and we paralyze and just wait until it's over. For me, the real important part is usually we are not consciously choosing those reactions. They are just happening. So there's a trigger and we find ourselves reacting in this certain mode. And a lot of times it's not the best reaction in this situation because it's a reaction that we have learned 30, 40, 50 years ago, most of the time in our childhood. So then it was a good reaction, but now as a grown person, it's not, a lot of times it's not a good reaction anymore. I think it's two things that are really important. The one is we are not able to choose those reactions consciously, and especially like now in the times of the crisis, Corona, that it's not going away like next day or next week. It's really important to be aware of those reactions.
Thank you for listening. I hope our discussion has opened new ways of looking at how to handle a crisis, why people are prone to certain behaviors, and why we should be more understanding toward ourselves and toward others. Don't miss the following episode of Madhu's COVID-19 Crisis Log and learn concrete measures that you can take when coping with a crisis. Please feel free to share your thoughts on Madhu's social media or to email her directly at madhu@einsteidler.at.